Welcome back to another Shade Tree Garage video. So, it's been a little while, I know. I filmed some stuff, I just have some stuff on projects that are taking forever. One of those is a 240. Really behind on machine work stuff. But this video is gonna be, I have that 84 C10. It's really like a C20, it's got heavy upgraded axles, 8 lug, 14 bolt, all that stuff. But we pulled the motor out of it a while back because it was dead on 2 holes. Motor's right here. I didn't really film any of that. Kyle did it mostly for me. It had a sniper on it. It's dead on 3 and 4, I believe. So not really sure why. I didn't really look into it. Anyways, different direction than what we're doing on our truck. So on the C10, it's gonna be getting her project square body, I guess we could call it. It's gonna be getting a 5.3 out of this thing. 02, so 2002 Yukon 5.3, 2-wheel drive. We'll be putting this in there with a bunch of the other goodies for the engine. Engine's gonna be coming out and getting mostly refreshed. Probably not a full bottom end rebuild, but maybe a bottom end refresh, check the rings, but I'm not sure, we'll see. Got quite a bit of miles. I'm gonna fire it up for you guys now, just so you hear it. Jump box is on there. 255, 221, so. She's a runner though, leather. She's a runner, man. Runs real smooth, has a bad water pump on it, so it does leak. Not a bad truck, kind of painful to get rid of. If this thing was 4-wheel drive, probably wouldn't be getting rid of it. So we'll be pulling this engine out of there. So that's 5.3 that we got to get out and get it on engine stand, and we got just a ton of parts up here for it. So I've got everything you can think of. I got a stall converter, truck Norris cam, some headers, 2 wiring harnesses by accident. They're just some cheap harnesses that we're gonna have to do a bunch of custom stuff on. Those rotors are not for that. Water pump for that 5.3. Gasket kit. Got an aftermarket gauge cluster for the C10. Lots of work to come on this unit. X pipes, Spintech mufflers. Currently that's how the SR20 sits, sadly. Whole rig. You have breathed your last breath in here. She hadn't been ran a lot in the last year or so anyway. I mean, my dad was driving this for a little while and things was going well. The U-joints are pretty shot in it though, and a bunch of other crap. So I figured, man, before it gets scrapped or sold off for not a whole ton of money, why not just steal this 5.3 out of here? Doesn't smoke too bad or nothing. Smokes a little bit on startup, but that's probably valve seals. But we'll just see what we end up getting into. So here's the underside of the old Yukon. Lots of leaks on it. These Yukons had some heavy duty ass torsion bar suspension. The Silverado didn't get this unless it was 4-wheel drive. It's pretty clean, man. Pretty clean frame, not too rusty. I got a buddy who really wants a frame, so maybe we'll keep a truck for him. Good diff in it. Aluminum drive shaft. Hopefully that we'll be able to reuse that, but we'll find out. I'm just gonna cut the cats off right now. Cut this Y pipe. I don't really want to deal with the bolts. I'd love to pull it with the transmission out the front, but I don't know if that's gonna be easily done unless I pull the front end off. I may not want to do that, so I may just take the transmission out separate. Probably unhooking the transmission. We'll just see what it's going to take. These 4L60s, 4L80s, real easy to get out. Usually aren't too bad, so we may just go that route. What up, guys? Just to give you guys a little update on the truck. Pulled the transmission out. Thought I got lucky. Thought, damn, if I'd had an 80 in it, that'd be sweet. But we got us a 4L60E. You can tell because the way that it is. But yeah, other than that, it looks good. I think it's been gone through once before, if I remember correctly, but I'm not sure. The transmission fluid looked really good, so I don't think it has 250,000 miles, but we'll pull the pan and check. I debated rebuilding it. You know, it is a 4L60 after all, but we're not gonna be real hard on it. I forgot to mention that this truck's just gonna be a good little street truck and kind of a budget build, so I'm not trying to spend a whole ton of money on that deal. Just because, yeah, I've got like a bunch of projects going on right now and I have to start getting them done for me. I got a ton of customer stuff and don't have a lot of time to do my stuff, and that's just how it is. So I need to get some of this stuff running because I'd like to get something else. You know what I mean? I need to not buy anything else till I get some shit going. So now we're gonna work on getting the rest out. I only ended up cutting the exhaust, drive shaft, stuff's over there. So now we're gonna work on getting this rad out, or the shit, or the fan shroud, and getting all the connectors and yada yada, the harness basically, fuel lines, heater hoses. Already got the AC lines on that side. What is up, guys? It's the next night here. I ended up being out here kind of late last night and yada yada. Anyways, got it out. Filmed a little, just showing you guys it earlier. This is the engine. It's a pretty leaky 5.3. I already took that rear main cover off. It was leaking really bad. But yeah, 200 and whatever it was, 30 miles or 50,000 miles, I don't remember. But pretty leaky. Sorry if I'm breathing hard. I just ran back here. But gonna get this damn harness off of it. and get it kind of stripped down. I may kind of time lapse that, but I'm not sure. I may just update you. I've seen a lot of this stuff before. So guys, I'm gonna just take advantage since this engine's gonna be getting disassembled anyway. I put the stuff or the intake back on and tape the exhaust ports, and we're gonna wash this thing, pressure wash it right now, get it coated in degreaser. I'm gonna work on that because it's minutely clean. It's not super clean. It still looks really gross, but the rest of it I'll be able to handle with the parts off. At least now I can see most of the heads of my bolts except these head bolts. Can't really see those in there, but kind of clean up the valley cover. Again, I don't care about dirt getting in here. If you do, you're not gonna take the heads off. You need to cover all these ports up before you clean anything, all that crap. I don't care because I'm pulling the heads off and going down as bare as we really need to go. So this is pretty much how you get it. I would consider this more of like a junkyard pull, because if that Yukon was wrecked, you'd be pulling something that is possibly about like this. This has a lot of miles. It looks really disgusting, or we're gonna make something really cool out of it. Don't judge this right now. This is kind of like a budgety build. You can't let this demotivate you later for what's coming later. This is like your run-of-the-mill 200,000 miles of crap. That's gonna take some sitting in the parts washer, some little bit of, you know, a little bit of elbow grease to get all that crap off. So pretty normal stuff right there. We're gonna go ahead and pull the pan, pull the heads, pull the timing cover, pull the valley cover, and get this thing apart. Let's go ahead and get these off, and let's just see how bad this is. I'm guessing it's gonna be really black, gross. So I know this is gonna be pretty black looking. Oh, that's not that bad. It's really not that bad. There we go. Huh. 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 Something tells me that this has had a head or something before. That's freaking funny. That's kind of what I was expecting right there. Don't get your hopes up there, boys. Yeah, this has definitely had a head or something in the past. That's really funny. So I don't know if you can tell by looking at it, but it's probably had a head or something at some point. Considering the difference there. Alright guys, I literally just pulled the heads off, tilted it to get the coolant out of it. Here's our heads. Now something that is pretty interesting about these typically, and one of the reasons why this is such a sought after engine. So this engine you've seen, it has over 200,000 miles. Pretty confident by the amount of grease that this has been in there for all 200. But if you want to be safe, you could easily say that it's 100, but it's been in there probably the entire time. So one thing's for sure that I'm finding out about this engine. The coolant passages are pretty gross. Not too bad down in there, but in the front half where it's been sitting and really ate it up. See that? So anyway, get to the point that people love. Do you see how you can still see those crosses this way and that way? This way and this way? That is what makes LSs usually really sought after, okay? This thing, and this is common with a lot of engines, but a crap ton of miles, hardly any up and down scores at all. And this is consistent. And I bet you the bearings in this thing look pretty damn good. Tops of the pistons look okay. They pretty dirty, you know, your typical kind of crap. Lots of carbon and stuff. It's for sure 5.3. The 5.3 pistons are dished like this, and you can see a little cross mark in there. But what I may do is now I'm getting the point, or the part of me's like, well, why don't you just throw a set of pistons in, you know? So I'm kind of getting the thought that was a crack, but it's a hair. Kind of getting the case of the, well, why don't you? So I don't know what we're gonna do, but let's go ahead and get the pan off, get the front timing cover off, get the lifters out of it, and let's kind of check back for a progress update and see what kind of our game plan is gonna be. As far as the heads, it's getting springs and all that crap anyway, stock valves, gonna relap the valves just to make sure they're not leaking, as well as new valve seals and bigger springs. So Brian Tooley stuff, LS7 lifters and that truck cam. So we're not going too gnarly. Like, that's why it's like, I don't think I should really be putting pistons in it, but it's kind of like you're here, and if I pull these out, I may not pull these out. We're gonna clean them up and see what they look like. But if I see some pitting or any kind of detonation, which is unlikely as hell, but why not? Like, at the least, I'd like to put rings in it, but honestly, I don't even know if I should mess with it. It looks great. Kind of one of the best things is not opening one of these all the way, but we're gonna at least check into it. So let's get more of it torn down and figure out what we're doing. I want to show you some bad wear on this cam. So see this? See that line right there? That's where it's pitting, and it's starting to wipe out that lobe. Keep in mind, this thing had no lifter tick. Not all of them look like this. So I just got the pan off, guys, and what we have is a pretty nasty, mild up, sludgy. Luckily nothing in the pickup. Looks clean. That's just reflections you're seeing. But the pan's got some sludge in it. I don't really see any metal yet. Really sludgy, really nasty crap. So without the little windage tray deal, you can kind of see what we're dealing with. It's just really sludgy, really nasty, just years of abuse, years of hot oil. Here's your markings. Keep in mind on the orientation on the main caps, if you decide to take the main out, the main's out to get the crank out. We'll see how far we need to go. I'm gonna pull this cap on number 1, check the bearing life, and then yeah, so we'll see basically how am I feeling. I'm already feeling like I want to put rings in it. It did have a little bit of smoke on startup, but what it was probably the valve seals are cooked with this many miles. It's probably not the rings, especially looking at the cylinder walls. So we might leave them, we might not. Just kind of boils down to how far we're going in this thing, especially for what I want to do. I'm not asking a whole lot of this. I just want it to be a cam little street truck. Not really trying to race anybody or anything like that, but we'll see. I mean, plans change, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy cracked loose, and I'll update you in just a sec. Keep in mind too that the orientation of this is vital. Really won't let you put it on a bad or another way. They really don't look too bad. A little bit of grooves, but nothing like crazy grooved, but definitely is, you know, she's not new. Crank looks really good. Here's what we're dealing with. You can see a couple marks in that bearing. I can't feel them with my fingernail, but we might go ahead and change them. You can see where the coating's off, where this coloration changes on that edge. So the coating is off them, of course. 200,000 miles. I don't expect it to not be, but so I'm just trying to think of here, what do I want to do? Because this is where you're like, this is where it's like, look, you know, I think I'm gonna knock this piston out and check the skirt wear and check all that. So we'll knock this piston out. Figured I'd give you guys a rundown. Skirt health looks really good. Nothing major on the bearing, but I mean, she, you know, I think regardless, she's gonna get a set of bearings. Piston looks all right. No crazy wear around the edge or anything. It appears that we might be getting some oil burning, probably from these oil rings. That oil ring's pretty damn stuck. I mean, it's real stuck. So there it is. It's kind of moving now. Remember, you got your top compression ring, bottom compression ring, and then you have your oil ring. You have your oil expander in the middle, and then your oil sealing rings on each side, or scrapers. Basically, they help scrape the oil off. That's probably where the little bit of light smoke was from. So now we have an option, right? What did we learn from this so far? We learned that the engine, you know, is pretty mild out, which we already knew. Just depending on how your engine was taken care of and how lucky you got with your junkyard crap. I mean, this thing had a lot of miles when we encountered this vehicle, and you know, you just take risk. And this is fine. I mean, you could probably put this in there and rock it, you know what I mean? The thing is I'm me, and I'm not gonna probably do that because I just can't do that. I don't know why I'm incapable of doing it. I can't do it, okay? So anyways, we're probably gonna at least do rings, hone this thing, and bearings. If I go to the machine shop and the dude's already got a set of pistons and rods somewhere in there, I might buy them. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you I'm not going to, but I'm fine with this. I don't really care for a forged piston. I'm not gonna be boosting this thing. I'm not doing anything, so I don't care. Like the fact that these are not forged does not really bother me at all. But as far as rings and stuff, it's getting rings. I promise you that. I mean, I don't trust these oil rings. If this is like this on one of them, it's probably like it on all 8. Don't be stupid, it probably is. You don't have the one mystery piston, at least more than likely not. And what we're seeing with that oil ring being kind of stuck and gummy is pretty consistent with this whole engine, right? You have a lot of miles, and it's just gotten into those rings, and not really, possibly a lack of maintenance situation here where it's just gone pretty far between oil changes. And it's not a big deal. Again, like I said, I could rock this probably all damn day and probably not have an issue, but I'm not gonna do that. I really want this C10 to be really good looking or good sounding, super healthy. So I guess that's gonna do it for this video, guys. We've got this motor out, got it disassembled. Sorry I didn't show a lot of hands-on stuff. If you want more hands-on stuff, I have no problem doing that. You know, and obviously it's gonna be getting oil pump and all that crap too. But like I said, if you want more hands-on stuff, we'll do more hands-on stuff, as well as some tips and tricks. But as far as looking out for an LS, just look for kind of a, you can tell a lot by pulling valve covers. I mean, that's what I'll tell you. But sometimes you run into a situation like this. Now, one clean side could be because that is the main breather side. There is a PCV line on the other side, but I believe that other side flows a little better on the crankcase pressure. So that could be why, but I'm pretty confident just by everything else that thing has either had a head gasket or something at some point, right? So again, not an issue to me. Rods and pistons I'm cool with. I say let's just, why not go back with a set of bearings and yeah, you know, and at least a set of rings and stuff. And I almost don't even want to hone this thing. I just want to remove the ring ridge because it looks great, but we'll have to hone it kind of so the new rings can bed in pretty good. But that's what we got. We got a camshaft and all kinds of cool stuff. Since we're gonna do that to this engine, we might go through this transmission a little bit. But that transmission has been through at some point, I believe not too long ago. I mean, the rear main leak makes it look really horrible, and that tail shaft's kind of greasy, but that transmission fluid looked awesome. I'm not super worried, but we will pull the pan off probably and just check it. Love to, if we have to go through that. I don't really want to spend a lot of money on a 4L60. I'd love to spend more money on a 4L80, so we might just rock that and you know, end up kind of seeing what happens. So yeah, that's the update on this. There's still more while we're waiting on parts or whatever we're doing here. I haven't made the decision yet. I need to kind of outweigh all my options. There's still other stuff. The truck needs to get a gauge cluster, and the truck needs some other crap, needs some buttoning up, needs some cleaning. It needs, like, I'd love to, we'll just see. I don't want to promise a bunch of stuff to that truck just because I get in a bad rush. But this has slowed me down, and this is kind of a good thing. Really glad I opened up the bottom end. I mean, I was gonna just like shotgun this thing in there because typically junkyard LSs are fine. And like I said, I'm not downplaying anybody that uses this that bad. It would probably work fine. I don't have all the time in the world to have to go back and fix something. It's my car. I fix a lot of other people's crap, and I am also wanting to move on from this project to another project. We still have the 240, so it's kind of like boom, boom, boom. We have a lot of projects to do, and I don't want to waste time going back and forth. So either way, keep on wrenching, guys. I'll see you later.